Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and I love to craft. Today we are going to be making two cards. These are 4 inches by 4 inches and we will be doing some ink blending. We will also be coloring with some Ohuhu markers and using some dewdrops. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. We will start off by using our paper trimmer. And this is one that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, but you can also pick up a few different ones from Amazon. We are also going to be starting off with a 8.5 by 11 sheet of 110 pound cardstock. I already cut it down in half, and these are usually the size panels that I use, which would make a A2 size card. So let's just go ahead and cut this down to 4 inches. Actually, I'm sorry, we are going to cut it down to 8 inches. So let's see, put it at the 8-inch mark. I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but let's go ahead and cut that down. And we also need to make the width of the card 4 inches as well. Okay, so now we have a 4 by 8 card and we will score it at the 4-inch mark. Let's go ahead and do this panel as well, since we will be making 2 cards today. Go ahead and cut it again at that 4-inch mark. Okay, and then we're also going to be taking another piece of cardstock and we need to trim it down that way that we have the top layer of the card. Okay, let's trim down the other side as well. So now we will have that little layering piece for the front of our card. Let's go ahead and do another one since we will be making 2 cards today. All right, let's go ahead and set our paper trimmer to the side. Okay, so we have 2 card bases here. We also have our scoreboard here, and we are going to take our score tool and we are going to score it at the 4-inch mark like that, and that just makes it easier to fold the card. All right, now let's go ahead and do the other card as well. Score it at the 4-inch mark. And I do like to go ahead and fold them. Okay, and then once we fold them, I also like to take the edge of the score tool and just go over the top. That way that the card stays flat and it doesn't pop open like this one is. So that is just a little handy tip that you can definitely do. You can go ahead and set this to the side. Okay, so we have our 2 card bases here. We are going to take the top layers of our cards and we are going to use some washi tape and tape those down. So I'm going to take a piece of washi tape, and if you have like a cotton t-shirt or anything like that, I like to just stick it to my shirt and peel it up a few times. That way that the washi tape is not so sticky. I just find that that is much easier and it does not rip your cardstock. So that is also another little handy tip. So let's go ahead and tape both of these down. Okay, so I have my ink cubes here, and this tray I picked up from Amazon, and it holds all the ink cubes very securely, so they do not move around at all. They are universal. It does hold the Concord and Ninth, Gina K Designs, Simon Says ink cubes. And there's just a little notch in here, and so all that they do is just slide right on there and they do not slide off. So it's definitely universal and I highly recommend it. It will be linked down in the description box below. But on the last card we used Melon by Simon Says, and then we also used Creamsicle by Concord and Ninth. And so I definitely loved both of these shades. They do look very, very similar. But for these cards that we are doing today, let's do a different shade. So I'm thinking that maybe we should do Orchid and Lilac, or maybe we should do a green. Let's see. I think we should definitely do the Lilac and Orchid, and we can set this to the side. Okay, I have my ink blending brush here. It is clean, but it is very stained, of course. I think I say that in like all my videos. but let's go ahead and go in with lilac. So we are just going to dab onto our ink cube, dab off on our glass mat, and then we are going to bring it down. Okay, so we are done with this one. I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush, let it dry, and then we are going to go in with orchid. So I will be right back. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go in with the orchid. And I'm just going to dab onto the ink cube and dab off on the glass mat. Okay, so this is a very dark shade, so we need to go in pretty light, so make sure that we are dabbing off really good. I did go pretty heavy-handed on this one, so this one I'm going to try and correct that. I'm still getting used to ink blending. I'm definitely not a professional, and I do not claim to be. So again, I just love to craft, and I like to show others, and I even like whenever people give me feedback. You know, that just kind of helps out, especially whenever I'm trying out new things. So any feedback will be greatly appreciated, especially with ink blending, because I am so new to all of this. I never thought that I would get into card making, just because I didn't think that it was something that I would really enjoy. But after I made my first couple cards, I was like, wow, okay, I see why everyone loves this. And so the hobby just kind of grew from there, and I think that that is probably one of the main crafts that I actually do now, which is card making. I love to mail out cards, so that is just a little fun fact about me. Wow, okay, so I just made a huge mistake on this one. I forgot to dab off on the glass mat, and we totally messed this one up. So what I'm going to do is just peel up the washi tape and flip the card over. Okay, so this one we actually might use for stamping out our stamps. So let's go ahead and just set this one to the side. I have a little bit smaller one that will have more of a gap on there, so I'm very excited to use this one. So let's go ahead and use some washi tape to secure it down. Okay, now that we have this one secured down, let's go ahead and make sure that we are dabbing off onto the glass mat, because we do not want to make that same mistake again, because it was looking so pretty until I added that, in which I probably could add like a little critter in front of it, but we'll just start over because mistakes do happen. Okay, so that is all that we're going to do for this one. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the little area here, and I will be right back. I think that the most rewarding thing is to peel off that washi tape, because you get to see exactly what you have created. So let's go ahead and peel off the washi tape. Alright, and here is how both of these turned out. I think that I definitely went very heavy-handed in this area right here, but I definitely love both of these. So let's go ahead and get out our Misty, that way that we can start stamping out our stamps. Here's our Misty. It is a stamping folder. We also have our stamp set here, and I definitely want to go in with the puppy dog, and I think we should definitely use the chick this time. For the last two cards, I used the fox, the owl, the kitten, and the little puppy. So this time I'll use the dog and the chick. And I think that I'm just going to double stamp those. And then I want to use two different sentiments on here. I'm going to use Hey Chickie. I think we're going to go in with sending sunshine and happiness. That one is just a really positive one. So let's go ahead and set these to the side. Let's use our scrap piece of cardstock that we messed up on. This is just a great way to use up those scraps. Add some paper behind it because we're getting kind of low on this paper, and it needs to be elevated a little bit just so that the stamps can actually reach it. So I'm going to put that sentiment right there. the chick right there and the puppy dog right there. And then I'm probably going to use 2 critters per card, or I might use 1 critter per card. So I'm not exactly sure just yet, but just in case, I'm going to stamp those out twice. Okay, so now we can close up the folder, and the stamps will now be on this side. We have our Memento in Tuxedo Black. Let's go ahead and stamp out the stamps. Now, I have not used the chick yet, so I'm just going to rub my finger over it to kind of get those oils off from the factory or whatever else may be on it. Do it for the others as well, even though I've already used it. All right, and also while I'm thinking about it, I use these because if they are gentle enough for your face, then they're gentle enough for a stamp. I have not had any issues using these, but these are actually my favorite. I will link them down below just in case you want to pick some up, or if you already have them in your stash, then these are great and you already know that. So let's go ahead and put some ink on our stamps. All right, and we can close our folder and just gently rub over it. All right, we definitely need to re-stamp this one. Close it again, gently rub over it. Okay, now let's go ahead and open it back up. That looks perfect. So now I'm going to take some scissors, and I do want to trim this down because I don't want to get any sort of ink on it. Okay, I completely forgot to stamp out our other sentiment, so I'm going to stick it on there. And let's see, I might need a bigger piece of cardstock, or I might have to move these around. Let's see, I think we can actually move these up a little bit. Okay, so I have it in the right spot. Let's go ahead and put down our magnetic piece here. And then let's add some ink to it. And let's close the folder, gently rub down. All right, let's go ahead and re-stamp it one more time. All right, that looks great. So now let's go ahead and put up our ink, and I'm going to clean up this area and I will be right back. Okay, so I gathered some markers, and these are the Ohuhu brand, and this shade is GY6, and we are just going to go in on the little wings and the tail, the little feet, and then for the little beak and the heart, we are going to go in with the shade R18. And then for the dog, we are going to go in with the shade WG01. And then for the little nose, we will go in with R18. All right, I'm going to go ahead and color this one the same way I did this one, and I will be right back. So I'm going to go ahead and get out these dies here, and we are going to use some washi tape to secure the dies down. So we will need the one for the chick. Right there, and then we will need the one for the little puppy dog, which is right here. And the reason that you would secure them down with a piece of washi tape is so that they do not move around whenever you are rolling it through the die cutting machine. I'm also going to go ahead and cut off this sentiment, just because we do not need to roll it through. All right, so I'm going to create a little sandwich. and we are going to roll it through. All right, let's take a look and see how they did. That one looks great. And so does that one. So let's go ahead and roll the other two through. Let's line up this die about right there. And then we can put this one right here. And I also like to reuse the washi tape for projects like this, just because it's a little less sticky, but it definitely gets the job done. And while I'm thinking about it, we definitely need to go ahead and cut off these sentiments. Create that little sandwich again, and we can roll it through. All right, we can go ahead and set this to the side. And let's pop these out. That one looks great. And so does that one. All right, next up, I'm just going to trim down the sentiments with my scissors. There's really no need to get out our paper trimmer. That one's cute. Let's go ahead and cut this one down as well. Okay, so we have our front card panels here, all of our pieces, some foam dots. Let's go ahead and flip these over. We can just put some of these on there. I got these from Temu and I really need to use them. So let's go ahead and peel up a couple. I'm going to put the foam dots on here, take off the backings, and I will be right back. Okay, so I put some foam dots on there, and now I'm going to use some reverse tweezers, and we are going to place our little critters down. So I'm going to do the chick right there, the puppy dog right there, and then let's see. I think maybe for this one we should just use the chick, because for this sentiment it says "Hey Chickie." I'm not going to use the foam dots for this sentiment. I'm going to use a piece of double-sided foam tape because it took forever to take off all of those backings. So now I'm just going to cut some down, stick it on the back, and then we can peel off those backings. And for this sentiment, since it does say "Hey Chickie," of course we're going to put it on here. And I think we'll just place it about right there. And then for this one, we can peel off the backing as well. I love these double-sided tweezers because you don't have to hold them shut, and it's great for placement. So let's see. I think that we will put the sentiment kind of in the middle right there. All right, those look great. Let's go ahead and add on some dewdrops. I have my dewdrops here. I will have some listed down in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. And we will be using our precision tip glue bottle. But first, let's go ahead and pick out some dewdrops. That way that we'll know exactly which ones that we want to use, and we'll also have the placement kind of mocked up already. So I want to use some of the smaller ones. And I think that since we have a lot going on with the sentiment and the two little critters here, we're only going to use maybe 3 dewdrops. Let's see what it looks like with an extra one. And maybe we can go in with like a little tiny one. Or should we bring this one down like that? Okay, I actually like that placement right there. So let's go ahead and glue these down. Okay, so I'm going to take a small little dot of glue and place that gem down. And we'll do it for the other two. And then we will place another 2 little globs of glue right there. All right, for this one, let's pick out, I don't know, we'll just have to mock it up. Because every time I say I'm going to do just like 2 or 3, I end up doing a little bit more, which is completely fine. Okay, so I think that we want to add that one right there. And then I do want to add on like the teeny tiny ones because these cards are small and I don't think it'll look right if we use like a really big one. For instance, like that just looks huge. So we'll definitely use the smaller ones for these cards. All right, and maybe another little teeny tiny one right there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. Okay, let's go and put these up. I'm going to let the glue dry and then we will add on some double-sided foam tape. All right, so we have both of our card panels here and let's make sure that they do open up correctly that way. And then we will just flip these over and add on some strips. Okay, so I have 3 strips here. We're going to put one on the outside, one in the middle, and then another one on the outside, and then we are going to peel up the backing. Okay, and then let's go ahead and center it on our card. Just like that. Oh my goodness, look how stinking cute that is. I love just watching the cards come together. Okay, so let's go ahead and add 3 more strips to this one. So we'll put one right there, one in the middle, and one at the top. Go ahead and peel off those backings. Okay, and then let's center this one as best as possible. About right there. All right, and here are the 2 cards that we created today. I've had so much fun ink blending and making these 4-inch by 4-inch cards. These cards I made late last night. This was so much fun to make. Sometimes I just like to come in my craft room and just create things off camera. That way that I can kind of prepare for the week, but these were so much fun to make. If you know anyone who needs a little bit of sunshine and happiness, send me an email. I will leave my email down in the description box below. It is craftingwithkristinadams@gmail.com. But for the exact spelling, just go ahead and copy that email down in the description box below. But I will definitely mail you a card. That way that you can either receive the card for yourself or you can use this to send to someone who needs a little bit of sunshine and happiness. So I think that is all for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video just as much as I did, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!